This is a classic barbershop tag called "Please Don't Give My Daddy No More Wine."
Please don't give my daddy no more wine, no more wine. He may be no good, but he's all mine, all mine.
Okay, let's take a look now.
Give my
This is being difficult.
daddy no more wine, no more wine. He may be no good, but he's all mine, all mine.
Great. Now we can annotate it. Sorry about that. Now in Barbershop, there aren't too many instances. You can see we have all of these chords right here, but right here at the very end, we have a couple. So let's see. I can tell just by looking at this, we're looking to have E, B, C sharp, so this D doesn't really look like it's part of the chord, but it's being held over, and it's part of this chord, which is a D major chord, and it's part of this right here, which is clearly a D major chord. So that makes right here in the middle, if we were to write that one more time, that D would become a pedal tone. I can tell you right here, that's an upper neighboring tone. And that means this right here being held over and then resolving down is a suspension. And it is a 6 to 5 suspension.
Please don't give my daddy no more wine, no more wine. He may be no good, but he's all mine, all mine.
Great. That was one more place to have taken a look at it. We're going to look at just a couple more tags. I'm actually going to share a different screen now. Or not, because I'm sure it's recording. Here, it was just over there. This is a tag someone once taught me. It's called Maggie. You can see it here on the screen. We'll take a look at it in a moment. So that's what it sounds like when actual people sing it. And here's what it looks like written. So I've already noted a couple places where we have our non-chord tones. The first one being right here on this little, what we would call a swipe on the word day. So this is a non-chord tone. If we're taking a look, we have B, D, F. We have a C there, which doesn't make much sense, but this B does. There's a B minor chord, and so that makes this approached by a leap and down by a step. That makes that an appoggiatura. And this right here, a step between this note and this note, that makes this a passing tone. Next one we have is right here. So we have C sharp, B, E, and or B flat, and E, E and G. This is what we call this would be a diminished. It would be some kind of a C sharp diminished 7, fully diminished 7. This A is not a part of it. It is approached by a step and it goes down by a leap of a third. That makes this an escape tone. And right over here, we have that same escape tone. Now this is an interesting place if we want to take a look at it. There's two ways to think about it. One is that these are both complete chords at the end, and that would be perfectly acceptable if you want to think we're going from a F, B, D, F, our 4, 6, 4 to our 1, that lovely plagal cadence. Of course, we can have that. That's one way to think about it. But the other way to think about it is if these two are both non-chord tones. You know, we've gone here from a C, B, E, G. This is our 5, 7 chord. 5, 7 wants to go to 1. So if we picture it that way, and if we want this to be 1, which it should be, we would consider this to be a suspension. That lovely 4 to 3 suspension. And right here, a step down this way, and then another step down this way is going to make this a passing tone. So let's hear what that sounds like when we play this one this time, just to make sure you hear it in case it didn't actually play before. Now that we know what the important notes are and what are our actual chord tones. And you're probably wondering right here, why isn't this a pedal? Well, barbershop harmony is a little different than classic music harmony, but if we're thinking about it, we have this is part of all three of these chords right here, rather than being only a part of this chord and this chord. If we're thinking about it, we have D, A, D, F, that's a D minor chord. C, A, E flat, F, that is our F chord, or F7 in second inversion, with this being the root. And right here we have B, B, D, and F, and that being our B major, which would, or B flat major would be a 4 chord. So it makes a lot of sense that this is a part of all three of these chords. One last tag we're going to look at, one of my favorites. It's called Run to the City of Refuge, and hopefully this will play on the thing I have. Hopefully you'll all hear it.
Run to the city of refuge, you better run, run, run. Run to the city of refuge, you better run, run, run.
Play it again here just in case that didn't actually work. So we only have a couple in here, but this one, very clearly, a suspension. Again, we had this pitch here. It is held over before resolving downward. And in our D4-3, second inversion because the A is in the bass, this is the root of our chord. That makes this a 4-3 suspension. And again, right here, I'm calling this a non-harmonic tone because if we're looking here, we have G, C, E, A sharp, which the N harmonic would be B flat, and in Barbershop, that is a much more a flat 7 chord would be much more important than a minor 7 chord right here. If we were looking at G, C, E, A, be much more relevant. So I can say that this is a non-harmonic tone, and that becomes a passing tone between G and A sharp. And again, these holding over right here are part of all of these chords. So these are not pedal tones, as opposed to the first example we looked at where the pitch was clearly not part of those chords. So that is how we go and we find our non-harmonic tones in the music that we're analyzing. We take a look at the chord, we see what notes fit in and what notes don't, and then we mark down what kind of non-harmonic, the kind of non-harmonic or non-chordal tone, non-harmonic tone that it is. We write that down, we have all our little abbreviations, and if we have some kind of suspension, we write the kind of suspension, being it a 9/8, 4/3, 6/4, or one could even say an 8/7 suspension. depending on how you look at it. So probably on the next homework, I'll assign something. Or this week's homework is just identifying them at random, or in random examples, and guarantee you on your final there will be an analysis that will ask you to identify non-chord tones. So keep up the studies, and I will see you in class.